The creative entrepreneur faces an impossible decision. Blue pill or the red pill? First, you take the blue pill. We all start as the starving artist. You have a vision. You want to build the business of your dreams, but you are unable to sustain that journey because it doesn't reliably make money. But you have to keep going. So you take the red pill. Let's call this hormosification. Forget about your identity, your purpose. Just do what works. Operate like a machine and keep scaling so that you're too busy to think about the fact that your business feels like the 9-to-5 you avoided at the very beginning. You start making money, but the business drains you. And as you set out on this path, you lose something, and that's you. The version of you who has real purpose in your field of expertise is now spending more time convincing people to buy your stuff. The version of you who wants to create content that's yours now has to keep up with a content system optimized for conversion. The version of you who wants impact is now managing a funnel with closers and head coaches. We have all been persuaded that there is a place called freedom, a destination to reach, a means to an end, and so the business becomes just that.
And so I came up with a mantra for myself, which you might laugh at, which is fuck happiness. The struggle that I have, because like I'm okay with that.
You're okay with what you're talking about, my friend.
Yes. No.
For almost 7 years in this game, I hated the fact that I had to choose. But then, about a year ago, the internet changed forever. It's April 2025, and I had taken the red pill. Partnered with a large creator in the e-commerce space, I built a coaching machine that just worked. For this single client, I personally collected 800,000 euros in cash in just 4 months. I tasted financial freedom by learning what works for online experts and doing it well. And still, I was struggling to sustain this path, now not because of financial reasons, but because my creative purpose, my identity wasn't in it. So at this point, having taken the blue pill, having taken the red pill, I was lost, looking for another path. And as I saw the internet changing, a life-changing idea came to mind. What if we could combine the strengths of the blue pill and the red pill and create something new? And this purple pill only became possible because something shifted in the last year. Something that most people didn't notice. We reached a point where the only thing that's left to set you apart is your humanity, is your identity. As AI became integrated with content, everything is increasingly becoming the same. This is not just a new business model. This is a movement. Expertise stopped being enough because people go to Claude and GPT to get it now. And your buyers have gotten sick of the constant posturing and loudness that was normal in the attention economy. And so here's the essence. We have entered the resonance economy. It used to be that to reliably make money, you had to leave your identity out of it, take the red pill, and do what works. You externally choose a niche, customer avatar, get their attention, and give them what they want. Your human journey, curiosities, principles, values, in the past only diluted that strategy. But now the algorithms have changed because what your viewers and buyers want has changed. Leaving your identity out of your business doesn't just mean you lose yourself chasing money, it now means you'll make less of it. In the resonance economy, your identity is the signal. And still partnered with that large client, I had the perfect playing ground to test a new model. And we went all in to building a world through content. And ended up building a category of one that couldn't be copied and couldn't be competed with. We turned sales into self-selection and learned that our clients were already sold through content alone. And we simply invited them to raise their hand when they were ready.
Yep, that is 10K sorted. Then I will get you onboarded straight away, man.
Excellent, thank you very much.
We killed a massive funnel that took 2 agencies to build, removed the closers, and swapped all the cold automations for warm human relationships. And after 2 months of simplifying, humanizing the business, our baseline was 120,000 euros per month, with the exception of November, where we did 230,000 because we felt like launching a fun offer. And to me, these numbers are not the flex. The way we did it was the flex. With this new model, we went from convincing people at scale to attracting only the right people. Instead of using content for conversion and chasing attention, we were building a world that people wanted to belong to. And so content stopped being a chore to send traffic into a cold sales funnel. In this new way, the content created the world and the world sold itself. And as such, all the pressure to constantly reinvent new tactics and strategies to beat our competitors, the pressure to constantly having to market yourself so heavily, just vanished. And so after this experience, I saw what I needed to see. I got to work on this and... Welcome to your $1 million world. This is how the modern expert turns his life's work into a 500K a year business where you don't have to convince a soul to buy your stuff. Before I show you everything, we must understand this. The blue pill and the red pill both have necessary features. There's a reason that both can work, but this model does a great job at combining the strengths of these two approaches while leaving the weaknesses behind. The weaknesses caused by being too one-dimensional in that strategy. Because a formidable business owner shouldn't be a cold machine without a creative soul. And a formidable artist shouldn't be a reckless creative without any working structure. So see this as though Rick Rubin and Alex Hormozi had a baby. And this is what came out of it. So here's your world. Brand and business are fused together into a single, simple structure that now share the same objectives. A content section with 2 rings of content and a product and offer section consisting of 5 rings of access. The most outer ring is your public content ring. For example, your YouTube channel is the first touch point for new strangers that can then become citizens. Your citizens are your leads. They are now in your private content ring. And for a citizen who wants even more access to you, then we go into your rings of access. You could see this as your product ladder, the offers that you run. The way that this works is a perspective that a lot of experts miss. There are 5 natural ways in which an expert can deliver value to their clients and customers. The first ring are your standalone products. You build them once, you ship them to many, and can use these features in the higher level rings that come after. In this first ring of access, you have your customers. The second ring is mentorship, the third ring is consulting, the fourth ring is coaching, and the last ring, where the amount of access to your time and problem solving caps, so where you provide most access to people, we have partnerships. These 5 rings are incredibly important because it allows us to split an offer that's already working into its 5 natural forms, which I will explain to you in a little bit, and create the highest possible value offers that you can possibly create. And I can help you design these offers with the premium offer formula, which we will get to in the third part of this video. Now, this means that your entire business and brand are turned into a single structure that now share the same simple objectives. We need 2 things. So let's talk about the most interesting topic. Gravity. Gravity is what happens when a creator has resonance, influence, and trust. A creator who achieves these 3 effects in their content are able to turn strangers into high readiness buyers. People that are waiting for you to make an invite so that they can raise their hand and start working with you, which means you gain a lot of freedom in how you market and how you sell. So what are those 3 effects? Resonance is the first order of effects. People see you as an ally. They resonate with what you stand for. Now their ears and heart are actually opened. You have now created an active viewer. These people are actually taking into account what you are saying. The second order of effects is influence. Influence gives you the ability to move a person, which we need because we need people to be hooked, watch the video, and be willing to take an action. And then the third and last order of effect that a creator needs to complete the cycle is to build trust. because trust makes the sale. This viewer who resonates with you, who you may influence, now also trusts that you and the plan that you have can take this person from A to B on the journey that your world is about. Now, why do we do this? Why do we need gravity? If you have gravity, you have real freedom in how you run the business. You are free to select your clients, and the clients you selected, so you didn't convince them, are always the best clients. These are people that stay in your rings of access for a long time, become friends to you. You are free from having to convince people at all, which now means you can exit the content hamster wheel and simply build out your library of work, which I believe is also much more honest to your audience. Simply put, you can do whatever the hell you want if you have gravity. This first mechanism of gravity is the priority, the goal of world building. And so how do you create gravity? We design your intellectual signal. We start using world building content pillars and creating evergreen sales assets. And of course, we need your best offer turned into those 5 rings of access. All of which I will run you through in the next part. But first we need to understand that second mechanism, access, as it relates to all this. Now, access is what turns gravity into cash collected. It's so important to understand that access is the essence of every expert business. Increased access to you, your time, and your problem-solving abilities, so your ideas, your work, your systems, directly correlates with higher impact, therefore higher results, and therefore higher pricing. And as gravity does its job, people will want more access to you and your problem-solving abilities. And so they'll want to move towards the center of your world, depending on how ready they are to change their situation and what kind of problem they're facing. So now that we understand how access works, we still need a system to actually make sure that those people become clients. And I like to think of this as sales by selection. A very simple relationship-based process without complicated funnels, tons of landing pages with cringy copywriting and over-the-top offers. And here's the only things we need. We need one simple system to open sales conversations, and we use revolving door offers. Usually in a weekly cadence, we switch between the 5 offers that we have, which creates a very natural and non-deceptive scarcity and urgency, because there is limited seats and a deadline where the offer will close. And so this works like a revolving door, equally keeps the business playful and fun for you, and allows you to reliably collect cash, where you have a lot more control over the buttons. Then we need 3 simple ways to make those sales, where we are inviting and selecting rather than closing people. We have docs, DMs, and dials. This very simply means when we have incredible amounts of gravity, we can sell through Notion Docs, Google Docs, where the whole offer is mentioned. We can sell through DMs, and if we are still developing the world and need a bit more gravity, we can still use dials, which is sales calls. And then lastly, because we have now this single structure where all these layers of clients, customers, citizens, and viewers are connected and touching, we need one simple system to retain those people and to ascend them in a very natural way if they want to. And that system is called personalized trials, where in a very personal way, we allow a mentorship client to experience a part of your consulting service, or a consulting client part of your coaching service, where if they like it, they can very naturally ascend into that next offer. And with these 3 simple systems to actually fill those rings of access, we have multiple ways in which a sale can be made. And so we will cover more demand and serve more clients. And more importantly, your lifestyle and energy is completely controlled. When this is all in place, you have complete sovereignty over your own life and business.
Now that's how the model works exactly, but I want to help you go even further. After successfully testing those initial ideas with the larger client I was working with, I got to know David Boland. And David was making only 3K per month with so much potential to offer. Very talented, but generally overwhelmed with what to do. And excitingly, as we started talking, he was the perfect candidate to test the finished model. And in just the next 20 days, we went from 3K per month to 20K per month, but as a baseline.
Like, to say that you've changed my life over the last year is an understatement. Like,
And the best thing is that this model now allows him to be somewhere in the fucking mountains of Bulgaria, just creating content that he loves to make, running offers that are fun to him, and working with genuinely awesome people that he's even meeting in person. With his own world, he's now truly free, making about 250k a year without having to do all the bullshit that exhausts us experts. And the roadmap I used initially, I call the $1 million World Launch. A 3-step campaign for experts to earn their first 20k over the next 30 days. And instead of just giving you the steps, I'm going to show you exactly how I did this with David transparently to give you everything you need. So, your own intellectual signal. This is how you separate yourself as an expert in the new kind of internet that we're in. Niches are dead because the algorithms do not care that a person has written down on a piece of paper, I serve busy business owners in their 30s achieve X in Y duration. Nobody, the internet does not care that you have done this or that you're thinking about a niche. The internet cares about the signal you're sending out, which needs to be based on the only thing you can produce, your identity. Because a niche and a customer avatar and all these external strategies are just a mental prison that limit the amount of identity you can unleash in your content, which just means that your signal will be weaker and therefore your content won't be memorable or effective enough to break through the incredible noise in our day and age. Now, intellectual signal. Remember we talked about resonance, influence, and trust. Your intellectual signal is how you produce these 3 effects with every piece of content you create. And it consists of 3 natural elements that are going to make a lot of sense to you. Earth, fire, and air. The first element is earth. This is about claiming your ground and positioning yourself on it. Your values contrasted by what you oppose. Your principles contrasted by your constraints. Instead of choosing a niche and manufacturing a position you think would work, let these things, your own identity, reveal exactly where you stand and then claim that ground fiercely. This is the only thing that creates resonance, the first effect that we want. New viewers come in, resonate with this signal, choose whether they want to be a citizen of your world. Then there is fire. Fire is the element you can never skip in any video. Fire is what moves a person. It's the emotion, it's the pain and desire visualized in fucking IMAX quality so vividly that it can be felt. Think of it very simply as a point A and a point B on your journey. Point A is the problem reality, exactly with its pains. Point B is your aspirational reality. Fire is what creates influence. Define it and convey it early in every video. Air fuels the fire. If you have your own way of closing the gap between A and B, you fuel the fire and create trust. You create trust because your vehicle, your own intellectual property, solve the problems on the journey between A and B. And so the fire is fueled and people now trust that you can bring them across that journey. But then there's a fourth sort of hidden thing. I call this the hidden disposition that every human being has. And this is one of my favorite subjects. Listen, the world's not fair. People have certain traits, natural effects on certain audiences that they are often not aware of. And after working with lots of clients, I can tell you that every expert, every creator has this hidden disposition and that they're usually blind to it because they're inside it, they're living it. It's so organic to them that they don't see the effect that's happening in plain sight. Now, and I don't think I have many gifts or talents, but what I can tell you is that probably the most valuable thing I do for clients is spotting exactly what that hidden disposition is. And when you can define what this is, you can build a coherent strategy around it that creates some of the most ridiculous results that I've seen. And here's exactly what I mean. To stick to the case of David Boland, what I saw is that he has an incredibly relatable and authentic energy. And because of this, when people see his content, they feel an air of simplicity, like, oh, doesn't really seem as complex and hard like all these other creators are making me feel. And when I realized this, the opportunity became very clear. Emphasize this by creating unedited videos, authentic storytelling, an even simpler vehicle and plan for his potential clients. And then in step 2, I'll show you exactly the offer that it led to. And so all this came from his intellectual signal, which created direct results and put us on track to building something that didn't exist before. A true one-of-a-kind world. And as I did this for David, we moved to step 2. We need your rings of access. And this process starts with building a true core offer, the highest value density offer that we can create for you in the current moment. And listen, in my last 6 years, I've generated about 2.3 million for my clients, for which I designed the offers. And I built these offers with my premium offer formula. Now, this is too much for the video, but I made a complete resource on this that you can just download for free in the link below. This will give you a lot. First of all, we'll show you exactly those 5 different roles you need to understand as an expert with actual use cases and full lists of features from which you can start designing offers. Then on top of that, there is a full guide on creating the highest value offer you can possibly create, and you can just follow the steps and arrive at your core offer. All of that is in there, and again, the link is in the description. Now, using this resource, here's how I created the exact offer that launched David from 3K to 20K in those first 30 days. So as I just said, we started with this earth, fire, wind, and that hidden disposition of his that very clearly said we need to serve starting creators between 1 and 5K per month, which would be best served through a mentorship offer. Using the premium offer formula and the listed features mentioned in there, we created an absolute killer core offer. It was called the Creator Sprint. Here's the exact features. We had 10 seats to sell at 2K euros each. Now, spoiler alert, we sold out all 10 seats, and how we did that is exactly the next step, the world building campaign. And then we very simply did 2 things. We built a lead engine. So for David, we went back into the premium offer formula. From the first product ring, we chose our lead magnet, which in this case was a community. So I helped him build a school community called the Conscious Creator Club. And then the main strategy that I'm going to teach you, the sequence of world building assets. You could see these as evergreen sales assets that are going to generate lots of leads and calls, and that we will continue to use for quite a long time. If you'd ask me what content should I make to get clients right now, then these are the 4 exact sales assets that I would make for you. And they are the center of this whole campaign. The first one is the big why. This video focuses on the earth and the fire element, right? Creating lots of resonance and influence and makes people ask, okay, give me your solution. It's the exact problem reality into your positioning, into the exact aspirational reality in 4K fucking IMAX resolution. And then the video ends teasing your vehicle, your solution, and so sending traffic into the 3rd sales asset, which is about the vehicle. But first, the 2nd sales asset, the hero's story, and this one is fucking powerful. The goal of the hero story is to cover your whole signal. So you're going through all of this by telling your story, how you arrived at the vehicle, and going through the vehicle and what result it got for you. 2 call to actions, 1 in the middle, which is towards your lead magnet, 1 call to action at the end, which is making the offer, and so directly booking sales calls. And you want to hear the best part? The complete script is the hero story, the hero's arc from Joseph Campbell. Literally, that's the script. To follow that works like magic. Then we arrive at number 3, the biggest driver for sales, hands down, as it also receives traffic from the first asset and other videos. The goal is very simply book calls, and you do this by very sharply outlining the exact problem, reality, positioning, and aspirational reality. And then you go into your big vehicle and sell it as the solution. And very important, don't go too much into the logic, like lecture style 40-minute explanation, but rather sell the what and the why of your vehicle. This is not because you want to gatekeep, but literally in a video like this, video retention really drops if you start out very emotional with your earth and fire, and then suddenly go into a lecture style how-to video. Keep it concise and sell that the idea works. This creates the further demand for your implementation of that vehicle. Now you make your offer 2 times. One time during the vehicle explanation. This is the longer, bigger call to action. And then one time you repeat the offer at the end of the video. Both offers, again, straight to booking calls. And then the 4th asset is the big case story. This is the knockout for anyone who's still lingering on the decision to work with you. And so what they need is just the actual roadmap and how you did it with a client. And then very simply, here's how it went with David. We built those 4 sales assets. They did incredibly well as they are reliable. With this world building campaign, we generated about 600 new leads that went into the community. We booked 21 calls, of which we selected 10 good fits. And so we sold out all 10 seats for 2K each, creating that first 20K month. But more importantly, installing that $1 million world model for David. And from there, it just gets better and better, because after this campaign, the world starts spinning. New clients that come in improve your signal and thus your content, which is the only thing you are focused on, which then attracts more clients. And so as you gain more and more gravity with your content, more clients enter your rings, while now the only thing you're focused on is your creative vocation, is creating content and actually improving, developing your ideas. You're released from having to convince people. You continue shaping your world, and over time you become more and more sovereign. Not just free, but sovereign. And so to all the creative entrepreneurs who value sovereignty in their life and business, take the purple pill and start building your $1 million world. If you're ready, then use the following resources linked in the description. There's the premium offer formula. And if you want to leave an application to have me inside your business to build and develop all of this, really working towards serious results. Excitingly, after 1.5 years of being occupied with these bigger clients, I'm opening 1 or 2 spots in my inner circle coaching. So you can send in an application. And if I honestly feel like I can be helpful to you, we can meet to see if it's valuable to start our relationship. And for now, that's it. See you in the next one.